Hey, how you guys doing, man? It's Joe D, and welcome to Share a Beer 437. Uh, this is our virtual pub table. Today is what is today? Oh, November 7th, 2017. Welcome to our virtual pub table once again. We've got Bum, Mark, Tom, and Zach here. How you guys doing, bro?
Fantastic.
Excellent. Excellent.
Absolutely. Hey, and we got Zach in here at the start of the show. So what are you having, brother? What are you drinking? Oh, maybe you can't. Can you hear us, Zach? What are you drinking? No?
No.
Okay, Tom, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a variation of a Wally called Wally Juice out of Wachusett.
Huh.
Oh.
It's I guess they added grapefruit or blood orange or something of that sort. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I feel like usually when you put blood orange or grapefruit in a beer when it's juice, it takes over the beer. It cuts. I feel like it cuts through everything else, and it hits you. It tastes like a alcoholic grapefruit juice, in a way.
That is a pretty strong flavor.
Yeah,
grapefruit juice.
And the nose of that, how is that? Is it a pretty strong nose as well?
Like
Citrus?
pure grapefruit.
Okay.
To be honest, okay. It's like it just slams you.
Well, let's see. We've got here it is an untapped Wally Juice there from Wachusett, like you said, brewing company. 260 total, 231 in the last 30. None by me. 7% alcohol, 70 IBUs, 3.81. Okay. Tom.
I'm slacking, man.
Oh, that's why. See, it's below his.
No, it is good though. It is good.
That's below your 4.0 grade point average.
Yeah,
Tom.
wow.
No, man.
That's the problem right there. Yeah. That's
the. I'm not going to get
be drinking malt liquor. I mean, really.
You guys are horrible.
So they do talk about. Let's see. Wally Juice combines a crisp, acidic hop character balanced out with the sweetness of an all-natural
blood
orange infusion, creating a unique reddish hue. Interpretation of the style. Wally Juice is a hazier, juicier sequel to our original New England IPA, Wally.
Yeah, I take the Wally over this.
Oh, really? Okay, because it's just that blood orange is just too grapefruit. That flavor.
Yeah, it dominates.
Okay.
It is good though.
Here's a better look at the beer Tom's having right here in that can. I love that can. Is that one of those like kind of plastic wrapped sort of deals, or is it?
No, it's like a regular can.
Okay. So they actually put all that down. That's a lot of detail.
Yeah.
For a small brewery, that's a lot of what was the price on that one? I imagine maybe that added into the cost of that beer.
I think 13 for a 4-pack.
Yeah, well, it's about
16-ounce cans. I mean,
yes, 16
still expensive, but at the same time, that's the kind of prices you're paying.
Yeah, that's what it's going for nowadays. So it's like,
yeah, unfortunately.
Exactly. Next, I'm drinking a Bamarillo from Jolly Pumpkin. I've never seen anything from Jolly Pumpkin.
Bamarillo.
Remember, Jolly Pumpkin was they were doing they were at the bar.
Yeah, they had
at the bar in Denver, right?
Yep. They had they did a tap takeover at Falling Rock. Yep.
And what do you have, Mark?
I'm finishing up Sam Adams Winter Lager out of their winter mix pack.
That's always solid.
Yeah, that's not bad. I gave it 3.5. I mean, it's got some malt, it's got some spice.
Everything nice.
Yep, malt and spice, everything nice. A good kind of wet your whistle kind of beer. Get you.
That's what winter lagers are made of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. I mean, I've been pretty happy with the 12-pack. I mean, the old Fezziwig was and the Amber Bock was this is better than those. It's not as good as the chocolate Bock. I'm going to have the oatmeal stout next, so I'm be interested to try that because I haven't had that before. I don't think. So, but yeah, I mean, all the beers are drinkable. There's 2 or 3 that are better, I think, than 3 that are just kind of basic beers. So, I mean, for what it was $13 for the 12-pack, so that's not too bad. I mean,
$13 is a decent price for that 12-pack because it's got some damn tasty beers in there.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I'd say 3 out of the 6. I mean, the chocolate Bock. I'm assuming the oatmeal stout's probably going to be pretty good. The Boston Lager is, they got to put that in a mix pack. I mean, Boston Lager's got to go in everything, I think. But yeah, I mean, I think it's well worth it.
Here's the let me show everybody what Mark's drinking right now. It's a pretty popular beer. 482,000, practically 483,000 ratings on here. 5,500 in the last 30 days. So that 3.43 is a good. That's a pretty solid rating right there.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.5. So yeah, it's right in there.
So yeah, you could pretty much count on that. That's going to be a pretty good drinkable, sessionable beer.
Yeah, I mean 5.5%.
That's impressive.
I mean, I like the Christmas tree on the front. It's kind of now that daylight saving is done. It gets dark earlier. So
yeah, what is this daylight saving you speak of? What is that?
Yes,
Is that like? Is that
That's
a
what
hop?
all the crazy people in the world do. Yeah.
Is that a hop or what is that?
Yeah, it's a new variation up.
Sometimes it's light, sometimes it's dark.
Yeah. Look at that. There he goes, man. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So the basic to sum up this little description from Sam Adams, the warm aroma of cinnamon and ginger, which blends with the toasty sweetness of the malted barley with a hint of citrus.
Yeah, I didn't really get any ginger. It's pretty forward on the cinnamon side of things. But the malt and cinnamon is what I get.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good. Good beer. It's going down nice and easy. So it's gonna kind of get the pipes ready to go.
Yeah, you got to get that all.
I'm going up the scale here next couple bottles. So yeah.
and Bum, what are you having, brother?
I'm still on my warm-up beer, technically. My main beer, if you don't mind, Joe, I will have it during the malt liquor report. It's not a malt liquor. It's not a malt liquor, but it ties in with that whole thing. My warm-up beer is yet another Labatt's Penguins Championship can, and I'm having it in my Labatt's Penguins glass that they gave me for buying this can of lousy beer.
Oh, nice. But that's cool. It's worth it sometimes just to get the glass.
Yeah. Get the glass. Yeah.
So there's going to be a whole bunch of cans coming out. There's a light version of this one from Labatt's that I haven't had yet, and Iron City's going to be doing several cans, I believe. So I have to buy and drink all this crappy beer to get these nice cans.
Yeah.
A lot of hard
work. That's the price of having a championship team in your city.
Hey, Bum, have you thought about aging any of those beers or not?
No.
He's not that crazy. Yeah.
No, some of my older ones, I do have some older Iron City cans that I bought years ago because back then I refused to drink Iron City. Those cans are still full and they're like 10 years old. So those are aged, but they will not be consumed. Those are going straight. Once I open them, they're going straight down the sink.
Straight drain pours. Forget about touching them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those kind of beers are ASAP beers.
Exactly.
As possible. Yeah. Colder the better.
We've got Kent Beer Reviews from England in there in the chat. TD Burris, man, we haven't seen him in a little while.
Yeah.
Good Coach is in there too.
Good to see you. And we got Coach in there.
Hey, head coach.
Yeah, how you doing, man? So good to see everybody in there. And Andrew, I think me and him might be having the same thing, or maybe he's actually having a beer. We'll see.
No, we're having the same thing, Joe.
Okay.
2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen.
Yeah. So that's exactly. I'm having a Phoenix version, and Andrew's having the Minnesota version of that.
Yep.
So I actually looked into, mentioning Minnesota. I actually looked into a train ride through Minnesota
Hmm.
that I didn't realize happened, and it sounded like a pretty cool little vacation. In case I can't make it to, I think we finally settled on something. So I think my landscaper is going to start the repairs on my
Oh.
leakage of water.
Was it your system that was leaking?
Yeah, and I've got a significant amount, especially according to him, of leaks. So he's thinking if we can get that fixed, it might tighten up your water bill. So.
Oh yeah, definitely would. Fix the leaks, man.
Yeah. So that combined with he's going to see how much more water he can conserve on the programming of those things. I swear to God, you got to have an engineering degree to figure out those sprinkler systems, don't you? I mean, those things are confusing as hell.
Some of them are really confusing.
I mean, that's like an old school VCR trying to set it to record. You remember?
Yep, your sprinkler system's just going 12.
Yeah, that's what it's doing. Because I look at it and I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
I could buckle down and figure it out, but it's still like, it's not real intuitive. It's intuitive to the people that are in that business, right? Like, the engineers that design it, they're like, come on, dude, are you serious? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I did see I was looking for backups just in case I can't quite make the European trip. So, and this one guy does European train rides, and so I started down that whole rabbit hole on YouTube, of all these train rides to Europe, and then all of a sudden he took a couple of train rides in America, and one of them was from Portland to Chicago.
Yep.
Empire Builder.
Really cool trip, man.
Empire Builder.
And I was like, wow, how cool would that be? Fly to Portland, have a bunch of beers, jump on the train for a few days, have some more beers, and then end up in Chicago and have some more beers and then fly home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and the landscape was is a nice long video, and he pretty much did a really good job of
bring your camera with you, Joe.
Yeah, oh my God, it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
The namesake for Amtrak's Empire Builder is James Jerome Hill.
Okay.
He built the Great Northern Railroad, which is what that train runs on.
Okay. All right.
It runs on the Great Northern as far as St. Paul, and then from St. Paul to Chicago, it runs on the old Milwaukee road rails between St. Paul and Chicago.
Okay. Yeah, that was I saw it on there, and it just seemed really, really cool. Is that
it would be fun to do? Yeah,
it just seemed like a real good, alternative. Because I could still take like a week off, and it's still a trip that I could do I have to. There's all these stupid rules, and there's one of them I have to burn 1 week at least all together. Like I have to burn, one of my vacation weeks. I have to burn so it always benefits me to plan a big trip, So I think if I did that combined with a few extra days here and there, fly to Portland. So I thought that was a decent alternative trip.
Oh yeah, no, that's a fun trip. My parents took a trip. They did the Canada one from Vancouver to Toronto, but the same kind of thing. I mean, they really had a lot of fun. I mean, that was a fun trip.
That trip is both Via Rail and Canadian National.
My parents took Via Rail, I think, is what they did.
How scenic is that Canadian trip?
Oh, it was pretty nice. I mean, they really you go through the mountains, so they stopped along the way. They started in Vancouver, and then they stopped in is it Banff or whatever up in the mountains, and they took a couple days and toured around up there, and then they left from there and went to Toronto, and that was like 3 or 4 days, and a lot of that's going across the plains, but it was still beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, it was the same thing with that that trip in the north. They're all the north, right? But that trip on Amtrak was a lot of planes too. Once you left that one part of North Dakota, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But it just
about half the trip is across the plains, but I mean that's still pretty. I mean that's just big sky and.
Trust me, as a truck driver, I'm very used to plains, that's for sure. But it's I mean, there is nothing like those mountain areas though. When you go through, they're just so beautiful.
Yeah.
But no, there is the plains have its own beauty. Like all the different things that grow on that land, and just kind of the scenery it's like the desert. The desert has its own beauty as well. So yeah, I am thinking about one of those. If I end up narrowing it down to something like that, then I'll put that out there. Maybe that would be something kind of cool, like because that trip was 3 days. I think he said he was on that trip.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Portland to. So I thought, boy, how perfect would that be? A 3-day trip on the train, and you combine that with an additional day in Portland and another day. So it's a solid week. I thought, man, that's perfect.
Yep.
Spend a day.
Or if you want, Joe, from where you're at, see where the Sunset Limited runs, because they got Amtrak runs the Sunset Limited, which was the old Southern Pacific train transcon from Florida over to California.
Oh yeah, no, that's too much.
Yeah. That's a long one. Yeah, that's at least a week. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you're gonna have a day and a half of Texas, and yeah, that's
what's wrong with a day and a half of barbecue for food though?
Yeah, no, it's not all barbecue either.
Yeah.
Part of that's going to have to be Tex-Mex, and that's offensive. I like either Tex or Mex, but not both.
Not both.
Yeah.
Never the two shall blend.
Yeah, that's just
never the two shall blend in Joe D's house.
Yeah, I'm not a Tex-Mex kind of guy, but it is decent food. But I'm just joking around. But it's no, I think that little trip there was to me for me a much better. I think I'll probably get by that 3rd day. I think you're pretty much ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, get me off of this thing. I think the charm probably wore off.
They got a bar car though.
Yeah, he did show.
There is a bar car.
He showed the sleeper car hooking up, and then he showed private cars hooking up to it. Where
yep,
they have a car cart.
Yeah,
you drink everything and buy beer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have a bunch of beers in Portland. You have a bunch of beers on the train, which is going to cost you probably the price of the trip. Yeah. And then a bunch of beers. I just thought it was great because Portland's a great beer town, and so is Chicago, of course.
Yep, a lot of stuff.
So I thought, man, that'd be, So I haven't even looked into it as much as I've just seen the trip and just kind of thought, boy, that's a good alternative if I can't quite make it across the pond. So.
Yep. Yeah.
And then that other trip, what was it called in Canada? You mentioned what was that one?
Oh, the Trans-Canada Rail.
Trans-Canada. Okay.
Yeah, it goes from basically Vancouver to Toronto.
How many days would that be?
And that's going to be
depending
how you do it, stops and stuff. That's going to be 5 to 7 days.
Oh yeah. No, we can't do that. That's going to be too much.
That's a week one way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's going to be too much.
What do you do? Take a plane back, or do you take the train back?
Yeah.
No,
my parents took my parents are in Pittsburgh, so they flew to Vancouver, and then then they just flew back home from Toronto.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah, you just pick on whichever end. It goes both ways, so you just decide where you want to end up in either West Coast or East Coast. Yeah.
So that I'll see how it goes, but either way I go, I'll let everybody know. And just in case someone else wants to make it, that'd be an awesome trip, man. You know what I'm saying? No passport required. Well, I hope not.
No.
Things could change. The climate in this country.
No, they're gonna say, Joe, you're from a state that doesn't do daylight saving. I'm sorry, we're gonna need to see some ID.
Sir, sir, come here. Come with me, sir. No entry for you, sir.
You say you are.
Yeah. So, and what do you having, Zach? Can you hear us this time?
Yeah. I'm having a rose hibiscus. It's called Pedal to the Metal. It's from Black Sky Brewery here in Denver.
Oh, cool. A rose hibiscus. Ah. Is it a pale ale?
No, it's a little lighter hop.
Okay.
Trying to think how you would describe it.
From Black Sky, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
Hey, Zach,
Sure.
did you like those beers?
Yeah, they were really good. I think I like the green one a little bit better.
A little more than the haze. Yep.
Yeah.
So that beer that Zach is having, I really want to show that one because that's a local brewery that you probably they don't bottle that, right, Zach?
Okay. Yeah. American wheat ale.
So they call it a pale wheat ale is how it's classified here. 1,000 ratings on here, 12 in the last 30 days, 4.5%.
Rose and hibiscus, 4.9%, 16 IBU.
Okay. Yeah. So does it have like nice floral notes to it?
Super floral, a little bit of citrus.
Okay. Cool. Nice light drinking beer.
Yeah, super light. It has like a nice sweetness to it. It's just, but it's got that body to where it's just crushable. It's not a lager, but it's not like a blonde ale. It's kind of, and it's not an amber. It's kind of an in between of all those.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So leading into the malt liquor report here, I do have a bit of a tease. Now I have some Share a Beer show history, and so after we come out of that, I'll show everybody something, a blast from our past here, and that'll be that'll be kind of fun to see. So I found it this week, and I was like, oh wow, crap! I didn't remember I had that. So it'll be some kind of fun to go over. Something that we've actually referenced not too long ago. So hey, Bum, just a tad early, but I'm throwing it to you. You've got the show since you've got a beer to go with it as well.
Yeah, I will start this malt liquor report out with what I'm drinking. I have a glass 40 here.
Ooh, Audacity. Okay.
This is called the Audacity, and this is from Batch Brewing in Detroit, Michigan. This is a Kolsch, and this checks in at a whopping 4% ABV and a whopping 10 IBUs. I bought this in August, and I've been holding on to it reluctantly because I thought, I better drink this before it starts tasting, not top notch. And it's 5 months old now, according to the dating system that they have on their bottles here.
Who's the brewery on that one again?
Batch Brewing, BATCH.
Okay.
And I will tell you what, this is one of the smoothest beers I've ever had. I'm not gonna describe it because you guys know that's not what I do. But
that bottle looks pretty sizable. That's larger than a bomber from the way it looks.
No, it's a 40, Andrew.
Oh, it is a 40. Okay.
Yeah.
Brain fart on my part.
Yeah, it's a 40 with the $9.99 price tag on it.
Oh, okay.
Little higher than the average 40, but This is absolutely delicious. Mildly carbonated, pretty much your standard Kolsch as far as appearance and body. But as I drink this, I keep waiting to get smacked with something, even a little bit of age, and nothing is hitting me. This is smooth as can be. This is an ultimate lawnmower beer. There's no surprises here.
Yeah, I'll show it here on Untapped. It's
and sometimes that's what you're looking for. You're just looking for no surprises.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just really want to have a beer. You don't want to have to think about what's in it and all that. You just want to crush beers.
Did you keep it in the fridge the whole time?
No, I didn't. Actually, it has not been in the fridge for up until a couple weeks ago.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Now, there's 946 total, 31 in the last 30 days, 3.8% ABV, 9 IBUs, 3.51 ratings. So that's a pretty solid rating for a Kolsch, right?
Yeah.
You know what? That's inaccurate. I can.
Is it? Okay.
I can taste that extra IBU in here when I. Drinking this. Mine's listed as 10.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we do have very refined palates here on Share Beer. So yeah,
that's right. I have actually read some articles that described what they call super tasters, and people that have an enhanced palate, and they make foods for those different palates. But anyway, I don't want to go on. That's what.
Well, we're definitely that group here.
Yeah.
Bottle with a purpose.
Let there be no doubt.
Yeah. Actually, this week in the Malt Liquor Report, we have some sad news. We have a real-life death along with an anniversary and a party announcement. The death is somebody who, he wasn't a member of the malt liquor drinking community per se, but he was very well known to them. Some of you guys might have heard of him, some of you YouTube veterans. Do any of you guys remember Tiny Tim Rauschader?
Yeah, and that guy came to mind as soon as you said someone died. I says, because that guy looked like he was going to die every time he did a video. I mean, it was sad. It was really kind of sad.
Yeah, he died last week. For those of you who don't know, he was a very large man. He had connections to the malt liquor world because most of his eating videos that he did, he washed down whatever he was eating, usually fast food, washed it down with a 40.
Yeah.
And and Joe, I don't mean to scare you, but the final video that he did about a week and a half ago, his final video, he ate a couple of Arby's venison sandwiches.
There's a lot of controversy with that venison sandwich. Have you heard about the controversy with it?
No.
I had one and I thought it was okay. I mean, I thought it was fairly tasty.
Okay, just like you have a beef committee, literally there's this venison community or organization, whatever, and they're suing Arby's because they said that they're taking away all they're farming these deer and raising deer specifically just for meat. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, where do you think roast beef comes from?
Where do you think most of our food comes from?
I was going to say, as opposed to any other animals.
You think these animals kill themselves? No, it doesn't happen that way.
I mean, come on. Yeah.
It was some. Anyway, I don't mean to take away from your story.
Oh no, that's okay.
Here, I'll show real quick just the quick Google on him, and that way we could pay respect in that way. So here at Tiny Tim world record 16 second 40 ounce.
Oh, he broke that record several times. He has a 10-second 40. That's why all the malt liquor drinkers know him. He is, according to Jay Vega, he is one of 4 known members of the 1200 Club, which is somebody who can drink 3 40-ounces in 10 minutes or less.
Wow.
There's his obituary down there. Oh, man.
Here's pictures of Tiny Tim.
He couldn't have been much more than...
Mark, he wasn't even 40 yet. He was just a few months short of 40.
40?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a shame.
Yeah. And he was probably 500 or 600 pounds. I mean, he was a very large man.
Yeah. I figured you might know Mark. He's been on YouTube forever.
He was back there in 2008, 2009.
39. Here's his obituary from legacy.com.
Yeah, and that was his real name. Unlike a lot of YouTube people, it was his real name.
Yeah.
But a lot of the MLDC made some tribute videos to him. Jay Vega did. Steel Worldwide did. Steel Worldwide, in his honor, ate an Arby's Meat Mountain in his honor. And Steel Worldwide used to cuss him out a lot. I think mainly for leaving a lot of door foam and not keeping the label out.
You cannot do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But in his tribute video, Steel Worldwide, in his inimitable fashion, stated, "Goodbye, dead fat buddy."
Yeah, that's he was almost 40.
Yeah.
Which would have been an appropriate age for him to go. You know, because 40.
Yeah,
because he would have finished his life with a 40.
Yeah. Yep. So sad news in that regard, but for a lot of people, not totally unexpected. So but as far as my bottle goes of the Audacity, this bottle, when I finished drinking it, this bottle is going to be passed on to Malt Mustang, who obviously you guys know is my go-between between me and the MLDC. And Malt Mustang is going to send this bottle to Brews 40 for his 40-ounce bottle collection, the world's largest collection of 40-ounce beers. Also, this coming weekend, we have a party announcement from Fear. This coming week, we're going to have the big party from Fear. Now, this is a division of the 40-ounce crew. This is the Blood, Sweat, and Beers crew. This is the 40-ounce crew has no relation to the MLDC, but Fear this weekend is having his BSB, BYOB, BBBBBBQ party.
Okay.
Which stands for Blood, Sweat, and Beers, Bring Your Own Bottle, Backyard Basement Bash and Barbecue.
Wow. It actually all meant something. Okay.
Yeah.
And Brews 40 is going to be there. So numerous other YouTube people are going to be there. They do make videos, but they're the Blood, Sweat, and Beers crew is a totally different faction of this whole group of people, even though some of them make videos. So,
yeah.
And which leads to this. We have a major anniversary tomorrow. Tomorrow is November 8th, and tomorrow will be 10 years ago that a fella by the name of Satan 165, and he's a member of the 40-ounce crew, he posted what is considered to be the first, not blueprint, but the first modern day YouTube video of somebody drinking malt liquor where they reference other malt liquor drinkers. So certainly not the first video of somebody drinking malt liquor, but the first video that was made for other malt liquor drinkers to watch. And so that is the big 10-year anniversary tomorrow. And about 9 days later after that, Brews 40 posted his first video. So this whole thing is coming up on a decade old. So a lot of history.
Yeah, that was the genesis of it.
That was one of the malt liquor pioneers, in other words, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Pushing the envelope.
Yeah, the video pioneers had to tread the way for the rest of them, right? I wonder now. I wonder if they've thought about this. Because you go another 10 years now, you could start having a malt liquor Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Induction ceremony and the whole thing. Yeah.
But you know what? That could be worse than rock and roll bands as far as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as far as debate who deserves to be in, who's not really a malt liquor drinker. For instance, Tiny Tim Rauscheder belong in there. He drank malt liquor, but he was not a member of the MLDC. He was not a member of any of these factions. He just happened to have malt liquor drinking talent. Would he belong in the MLHOF?
Is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? Is what you're saying?
Would he be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Be the Veterans Committee election. Have to get Satan 169 and Bruce 40.
Yeah.
And maybe even Dorf. I think if they do it, Dorf should be on the Veterans Committee because he should be in the Hall of Fame. He should.
Yeah, you know what? They could open a special C words wing of the Hall of Fame where Dorf would be the
MLC.
Where Dorf could be the first inductee to that wing. Dorf and Reggie Steele.
We need to get this information to them and kind of stir the pot a little bit. Like, hey, you're 10 years now, another 10 years, and you can have a Hall of Fame. What would you call the Hall of Fame? Who would be on the committee to nominate? How many nominees per year can you put in the Hall of Fame? And most importantly, what is the trophy? Is it a golden jacket? Is it a gold?
You get a gold 40, yeah. Solid gold 40.
Yeah.
Gold 40. The question is, where is it going to be?
Yeah.
You got to. What city is it going to be? And they're going to have to get in competition with Amazon for their next headquarters. So they're going to have to start now.
I think cities are going to be lobbying to have this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's the city for malt liquor? What city does?
It might have to be Milwaukee. I'm not sure if that's where the first.
That's what I'm thinking. Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think it would have to be Milwaukee. You could put it right next to the art museum up there in Milwaukee. I mean, a little bit of modern art. It could be like a giant 40-ounce bottle.
Yeah.
No, I think they need to be in some Milwaukee hood next to the liquor store in the neighborhood.
I was going to say either Milwaukee or Compton.
Yeah. It's got to be in a hood somewhere.
Yep.
With a
west side of Chicago or something.
Or South Chicago.
South
Chicago.
So and I assume it would have to be not just a golden 40, but a golden 40 bottle. Like glass
it would be
bottle.
presented in a paper bag. I would think. Yeah.
Yes.
Label out. But you have to take it out. Label out.
Yes. Yes.
We're creating the whole thing for them. We're
doing all the work.
Yeah, we're gonna get another credit.
Yeah, craft beer guys helping out the MLDC.
Yeah, what's up with that, man? We're doing all the legwork here, man.
Yeah, man. They got to drink a couple 40s and think it up themselves.
These are billable minutes right now. These are billable minutes. Yeah. These are big time billable minutes right now. Yeah.
And we charge $40 a minute.
Yeah.
$40 every 40 seconds.
So that's all for this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one there. I'll kind of in the pre-show we talked about this, and I'm just going to show it really quick for because this is the first show since how do we say it?
Since Halloween.
Since the conspiracy in Major League Baseball to not have the Dodgers win the World Series is what it is. That's because that Game 7 did not belong with the rest of that series. It was pathetic representation of the whole series. So, but yeah, congrats to Houston for winning their first World Series ever. What a boost! What a battle it was. I mean, that was I felt like the two best teams going at it.
Yeah, I mean it was a good series overall. The seventh game probably wasn't quite what everybody hoped, but
was that the first time the two 100+ wins teams competed in the series?
I think so.
Yeah. That's a good point. I forgot about that.
There was a lot of records broke with this World Series. A lot. The amount of home runs hit. I think it was I think like you said, Bum, the first two teams, or if not, then it's the first two in a very long time. First 100 win teams to be in there. But one thing we did talk about as well in a baseball frame was Roy Halladay dying.
I heard about that on ESPN radio.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it. I guess he apparently crashed today in an airplane in the Gulf of Mexico. He is a small well, what do you call that? A pilot, right, for small planes. But he was a pitcher, retired pitcher now. But a lot of us that are a little, not you don't have to be super old to remember him. This is recent history, but he was a damn good Cy Young pitcher. And here's pictures of him and his plane. This was his last one of his last tweets.
Tiny plane. Yeah,
it's just the tiniest little plane.
So it's got the prop on the top? It's like a center engine thing. Yeah.
So here's
okay. It's a pusher. It's a pusher. Yeah.
From what I heard on the radio, that little plane was like a fighter jet if you actually got it like 10, 20 feet up off the surface of the water or something. And it's like the rush that it gave you, I guess, is supposed to be pretty impressive.
Yep.
He wanted to fly since he was a kid because his dad was a pilot.
Yep.
So it's the A5 100. So that's a look at the plane there, and
supposedly you can put that right in your trailer and just tow it.
Yeah, you probably just like tow that. The wings probably fold up. I would bet. Yeah. And you just put it on a trailer and tow it behind your pickup truck, and you're good to go. Probably. Yeah.
So apparently he had just got it, because this is a tweet from October 3rd. Jeez. And I have dreamed about owning a A5 since I retired. Real life is better than my dreams. Thanks, Kurt and everyone. So,
wow. So you had it for like 3 weeks. Man.
And that was it. So, not to get super morbid on the show, but yeah, that's I definitely love sports, and he was definitely a hell of a pitcher.
The sad thing, he left his wife with 2 kids.
Oh,
that's the sad thing about that. That's what I heard.
Young kids, or
I believe so. I think both of them were younger than 10.
Oh, well, let me take us up out of this and bring us into some of the Share a Beer history.
Yes.
So I have a document here, and I'm glad Zach is here because he'll remember this. But back in the day, we had, and this ain't too far back, but we definitely had a lot of participation and a lot of energy for this sort of project that we had on Share a Beer. And this is the naming contest that we had for the porter that was made by the 4 brewers that we had here. And every week I would get some, people emailing me names, and as of 3/19/13, so this is March 19th, 2013, these were the names that we had to vote on for our Share a Beer, and it was Pinky Out Porter. Now I'm not going to go through all the names, but just some of the ones that stick out here: Blind Ambition, Chair a Beer, Chair a Beer, Smoke Porter, Pile Driver Porter, Smoke a Beer. There were a lot of little references on smoke because of course I've always been Joe D Hangout Smoke Porter,
Hangout Smoked Porter,
Shararita Smoke Porter. What a good name. Share a Beer 208, the final decision, Smoke Porter. So that must have been 208. Must have been the show where we decided.
Yeah, that was
the name. So
Accumulation Smoke Porter.
Yeah, Smoke Joe's Porter, Southern Midnight Porter, Smoke Porterita. Oh, WWJDD. What would Joe D drink? Puff Puff Pass Smoke Porter. We have what is the S'more Gas Board Smoke Porter, Tenderfoot Smoke Porter, Smokey the Beer Smoke Porter.
Yep. I saw the top one was hat, hands above the table.
Oh,
that's
Hat
good.
porter.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, yeah, hat porter. Yeah, hands above the table. Yep. No charge.
No charge.
Bing,
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 bing. So at Crossroads was actually, I remember, one of the finals. Like I think
Yeah, I think that was, yeah.
Crossroads was a good one. Accumulation, great minds think alike. So pretty cool. I had found this document here, and
4.5 years ago. Wow.
yeah. So
I was watching back then. That seems like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I think I was only watching back then, here and
Yeah.
there, until I decided to
oh,
really
this
dive into it.
here's a good one. Glad we didn't start with a lime marita smoke porter.
Smoky Joe's porter.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
some pretty cool. We would get a lot of participation on stuff, and I think that was before. Was that before or right at the Google Plus? That might have been right at it, huh?
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, we were on Google Plus, but yeah, we had Skylar was in there quite a well. He brewed one of the beers.
Yeah.
AJ was in there. Greg was participating. Was Gary? I don't think so. He was kind of off and on then. Yeah, honest to fact.
I think Gary was not around too much by then.
Yeah, he was already.
Greg is,
Yeah. Yeah, Greg was in there.
That was the
So-
Brandon, Skylar, AJ era.
Mhm. Era, yep.
Yeah, era, yeah, for sure, yeah. 'Cause
With Zach and Barrick, and when Barrick
Yeah.
first joined, that's when I first started watching. So
Mhm.
I still
Yeah,
that's my original share of beer crew that I remember.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's burned in there, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
got it. But I thought
Yeah.
that would be an enjoyable thing, to see. That's we already have a history going here.
Oh man, we're almost ready for sure. We're coming up on 10 years. I mean, really?
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Another year or so, we're going to be 10 years on Share Beer.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah, and
start thinking of the Hall of Fame.
yeah, Hall of Fame. Yeah, and do we go another 10 years? That's the question. Do we have enough in the tank to go another?
I think there's enough in the tank and enough out there from breweries that'll keep us going.
Hey Zach, what's the prediction on? Will there still be beer in 10 years?
I think he's. I don't think he's a.
I think there'll be self-driving cars and self-drinking beer.
So what do you have, Tom? I seen you pour something.
Oh, I took one out of the cellar. 2016 Sunday Morning Stout.
Oh,
Weyerbacher. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm telling you, these beers, out of all the barrel aged stouts I've ever had, age wise, they age you the best. They really do.
Yep. I had the Sunday morning mole stout a couple weeks ago. I got a 4-pack of that, and that was a pretty good beer.
I've always I've seen it, but I've never pulled the trigger on it. I've always wanted to try that. It seems like nowadays you want to buy something, you read a review, and you let the review manipulate your choice.
Oh yeah.
That happened to me.
so let me show that beer that he's having, because it does sound like a fantastic beer.
Yeah.
You've got 64,000 ratings on here total, 515 in the last 30 days.
There we go.
11.3% ABV and a 4.18. So now Tom's getting back where
Yeah.
yeah,
he's back.
where he's supposed to
Proper. He's back in the right neighborhood now.
Yeah.
be. And it's an American Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with coffee. So that gets me right away. It has an ebony pour with a large, creamy off-white head. And let's see this. Yes. I mean, it's like, come on, man. What are you doing to me here, Small? So you got chocolate, roasted malt, vanilla, and caramel.
Yep.
Do you get vanilla in that beer?
I do. the coffee dwindled away. It's not there anymore. So you get your vanilla in the front end, and then you have more of the heat from barrel aged in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry. We have what is that? OJ Johnny in there, and he said I was the one that sent Pinky out Porter.
Oh no shit!
I was so bummed it didn't get chosen. Yeah.
Oh man.
But it still lives there, Johnny. It still lives, man. It's
Yeah.
we mentioned it again, so it's still there.
Okay, I'm about ready to open up my Imperial Stout. I finished up the oatmeal stout, which for Bum it's a pretty solid beer. I mean, it's got some nice roasty flavors, roasted malt, and a little bit of coffee.
I'm gonna guess that's pretty close to their cream stout, which is a mainstay for them.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably the same beer with the cream stout probably has lactose added to it.
Yeah,
That's probably the only difference.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna open up this Mexican Cafe by Westbrook Brewing.
Mexican cake.
Mexican cake. It's a 10.5% Imperial Stout.
They do some good stuff.
Brewed with cocoa nibs, vanilla beans, cinnamon, and habanero peppers.
Oh my!
The brewery again, Mark?
Westbrook Brewing, out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, right across the river from Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow,
so this was the beer my buddy who owns the Growler store here gave me an exchange. I brought him back a couple of Three Floyds beers from my trip up to Chicago, and he gave me this out of his warehouse, I guess.
What's the ABV on that?
10.5, I think.
Yeah, 10.5.
Yeah. So it's a big one. And oh boy, the thing is dark.
I'll make a prediction. This is going to taste really good.
Right.
Yeah. What's the over/under on that beer tasting good?
A little over an hour, so it's warmed up a little bit. I mean, it's probably at 50 degrees, something like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's warmed up a little bit.
Look at that, man. That just looks so good.
Wow. Yeah, I'm getting chocolate. I'm getting a little bit of the habanero and the cinnamon and the vanilla on the nose. I mean, it's warmed up, so most of that stuff is there.
Right.
Well, there's habanero in there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Ooh. This has. You get a lot of vanilla and cinnamon right on the front on the taste.
Did I hear habaneros in that beer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And there's a little bit of heat at the back. After you swallow the beer, there's just a little bit of heat at the back of the throat.
Ooh.
And the vanilla, cinnamon, and chocolate's all there. It's approaching that real heavy body, but not.
It looks heavy because I'm watching it the way it's swirling around in there.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty viscous. Yeah. It's like a 1040 kind of,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's got, and you can see, you do the swirl there, the alcohol leaves a little bit on the side too. So
it's got legs.
It's got legs. Yeah, it's got legs. And wow, the heat at the back from the peppers is definitely there.
Let me show the Untapped on that beer. You've got 48,000 total, 601 in the last 30. 10.5 ABV, as we talked about, 50 IBUs, 4.43 bottle cap reading.
Yeah, that's
impressive.
I'm giving it 4.5. I mean, it's pretty darn good.
It's pretty darn good. Okay, so here's
that was
here's another picture of it.
I don't know what it sells for. I think it's probably like $12 to $15 a bottle, something like that.
I'm gonna see right.
If it is, that's very reasonable. I don't think I can get that in my area. Yeah.
Essentially, when you get beers like this, 10 to 12%, big imperial stouts, that type of thing, a bottle of wine. I mean, I consider it the same thing as a bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's very good. And these kind of stouts, these Mexican stouts or pepper stouts with chocolate and stuff, seem to be. We talked about sours kind of being popular. I think these kind of things are. This is the next phase of imperial stouts, kind of the pepper and cocoa, mole stouts. I think
Like
those are.
eggs of it.
Oh, well, that's for.
Is that a keg?
Yeah, that's a keg. So
Jesus.
Okay.
yeah, 140. So if you want a keg of it, there's your price.
Westbrook Mexican coffee cake.
That's not
Mexican
that bad for
cake.
150, to be honest.
Yeah. No, it's a very good beer. I mean, if you guys, they're pretty much. I don't think they distribute beyond the Southeast. I mean, Georgia, South Carolina, maybe North Florida.
I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple of their stuff, but nothing like
Mhm.
that. I think I've seen.
Yeah, they have. Their Ghost is pretty good, and their IPA is pretty solid too. They do a lot of stuff in cans, so that probably makes pretty good for transport. But yeah, that's
Bum,
it's a good
are
one.
you having another beer, Bum?
Nah, I'm still working on the Audacity.
Okay, good. So I'll get a little iPhone talk in there, so if anybody was wanting to know about that.
Yep. Let's hear about it.
What I can tell you, I love the phone now. I actually do. It is. I don't have my 6 Plus here, so you can see the size difference, but it is smaller than the 6 Plus, than the plus size versions of the iPhone. It is going to be smaller, but man, is it fast! It is really nice and fast. One thing that I like about it is your notifications pop up here, and it just says notification. It doesn't say from who, what the message is, or anything. Nice little feature, so you know you've got notifications from a particular app or something like that, but you can't actually see it until you look at it. And then once you look at it, it unlocks, and then it lets you see who those notifications are from.
Okay.
That's a nice little touch. Of course, the Face ID works really fast. So for those of you who's kind of wondering about that, I get asked about that Face ID part of it quite a bit. I was just asked today about it as well, and it does work just so fast. It's taken me. I did get it on launch day, November 3rd, so it's taken me from that Friday. Today's Tuesday, November 7th. So it's taken me till now to really, till about yesterday, really, to really get the hang of the new gestures. The way the whole phone operates. I'm coming from the 6 Plus. I wasn't used to having that touch screen either. So things that you could actually click just by touching them. But as you can see, it opened right there. I didn't even mean to. It's how quick it opens. It's just like, man, the second, and it learns. So when you first start using Face ID, you're like, it's good, but it's not quite as. It's learning. So you put in your code, right? Whatever code you use to lock it number wise, and the first time you use it will recognize your face, and then there's a few times when it might not, so it'll give you the code. So you put in your code, and then it remembered the last thing that it did see, and then it learns that after you put the code in, it's like, okay, so that must have been his face. So really? The next time it sees you that way, it's already got you. You know what I'm saying? So it keeps learning. And so the times that it don't, it'll give you the number. You push in your PIN, and then it'll lock in that face that next time.
Yep. So Skynet is not far behind. That's all I got to say.
So to me, it's just a nicer version, a more convenient version of the fingerprint reader. Biotech is here, and it's here to stay. It's in our lives. That's that's the way that works. One of the things I do like is it's got a little haptic feedback, and I use the flashlight a lot as a truck driver, because I'm constantly checking my airlines. I have to set everything up at night, and I drive at night, so I'm constantly using the flashlight feature of my phone. I have to get underneath that back trailer and make sure the actual pin's locked on that converter gear, and that's mostly that's my primary. So when you hit the flashlight, or over here is the camera, it actually makes it like the top of a jar when you open it, and then it has that indentation at the top of like a jelly jar, and it indents like that, and that's the way that feels. When you click it, the haptic feedback, you can see the lights on now, makes it feels just like that to me. So you actually feel like you are clicking on something. It's a trip, and I've let multiple people, at least half a dozen people by now, feel that, and they're like, oh yeah, that is kind of cool. It feels,
Mhm.
one of the fun parts of the phone are those animojis. The animojis are kind of fun, and you guys might have seen on Google Plus. I posted one. The poop. I posted the poop animoji on there, and that part's kind of fun. People are getting creative with that already. There's multiple videos of people using animojis from the iPhone 10 karaoke. They're doing Animoji karaoke, which takes a lot to get that done, and you only have 10 seconds. So some people they're adding background music to it already. I don't know how in the hell you do that. I honestly.
Oh wow.
They're adding music to it already, and they're doing karaoke and different little creative things. People are getting super creative with it already. There's a newscaster that did her whole, for a regular news agency, but she does tech reviews. She did her whole review as an Animoji.
Oh wow.
She did her whole review on the iPhone 10 as an Animoji.
I saw that poop, Joe. I didn't click on it though. I didn't realize it was animated.
Yeah, that's me in there. It's pretty cool. And the fun thing about the Animojis is that anybody can do it. It's not specific just to you. So
Yeah.
I have handed my phone to other people and let them see the Animojis, and it's fun. And then of course you've got the virtual reality. And that's a virtual reality thing that I did in my room, because that's where I tested it at. You do have to have some pretty decent light, and they do have some virtual reality apps that you can download, and it'll put figures right where you want them. That was like just some girl that's kind of dancing around, and so people are dancing around in there, or you can have like different animals or stuff like that. It's kind of cool. But I definitely like it. It's definitely a fast phone. Wireless charging is another huge thing for the iPhone. Android's had it forever. Wireless charging is a nice thing. I bought this wireless charger. It's a bamboo charger. It's a fast charger. I didn't know that there was different wireless charging. It made sense that there is. You have 5-watt chargers and 10-watt, 9 or 10-watt chargers. 9 or 10 watts is what you want for fast charging. And then you literally just set the phone on there. And of course, I don't have it plugged in right now, but you set the phone in there and it just charges. In this particular one, you can, whoops, you can set it saved. It'll charge this way or this way, so.
I've got the Samsung charger I can do that with.
My preference is the upright chargers, not the little flat chargers, because then you can't really see your phone. My
phone's actually kind of like just like yours. It's like at an angle like that.
Right. But my preference is the upright ones, because at least I can put it on there. I bought 2 of these. I bought them when they were cheap. They were $18 on Amazon, and they offered free next day shipping. And this has the cord attached, but didn't come with a charger part. So you have to have the fast charger part. But I like that part of it, that you can do it like that. If you get the flat charger, it's just flat. It'll be flat like that, and then you can't really see your phone at the same time.
Yeah.
And you can't really use it. So the one that I have next to my on my nightstand, it allows me to just see the phone. And the good thing is, when you have it plugged in, it's a Siri device, so you can just talk to it like you would your Amazon Echo, and so that makes it nice, because like Guy saw in the pre-show, I still was trying to wake up, and so I can just ask my phone. I don't want to say the magic word, but I can ask Siri what time it is. So and so all that stuff works. And as I showed in my little tip, if you hook this to a portable power bank, you can wireless charge wherever you're at. Take this with you and wireless charge via a power bank wherever you're at. So it's a way to make juice kind of anywhere. So my little quick insight into the iPhone X. So all right, guys, thanks for the show, everyone that was in the chat. Really appreciate it. Kent Beer Review stuck around for the whole time. Really appreciate that, from the UK.
You can now go to sleep.
You can now go back to sleep, man. So, yeah, we'll tuck you in. Don't worry, we'll tuck you in. So, thank you, Coach, Mom, CJ.
Yep.
Mind your grandma, boy. He's wearing his Teamster shirt. My mom said. And we've TD Burris, man. Haven't seen him in a while.
Yep.
Thanks for jumping in. Really appreciate it. Andrew, Bum, Mark, and we had Zach and Tom. Thanks, man, as always. We'll see you guys, man. Peace out.
See you next week.
See ya.